the dramatic culmination of 10 months of intense preparation and rigorous rehearsals. With a cast and crew comprising some 150 artists and technicians, it's been described as a moving, magical experience on the Christmas calendar. Complete with a live symphonic orchestra, an awesome chorale of phenomenal voices, and a vast musical repertoire. It's a world-class stage production with incredible sets, sensational lighting, and mind-blowing stage visuals. An epic theatrical performance that has taken on a life of its own. An amazing gift for the holiday season. A stage spectacle for the entire family. It's Brian McFarlane's Christmas Joy, The Gift of the Drum. Back in 2015, acclaimed designer and mass-man extraordinaire Brian McFarlane first presented his Christmas Joy stage spectacle at the Queen's Hall. The production was an immediate success and the audiences loved it. The show was a hit and it heralded an important shift in the Christmas things to do list. 2 years later, November 2017, McFarlane has returned to celebrate with you that sentimental experience, that scintillating spectacle we call Christmas Joy.
The early 1980s, and I think it might have been somewhere around 1984, 1985, I'd done my first Christmas production, which was called Miracle at Stollmeyer's. And that actually copped 4 CASIC awards. And then I did one about 4 years later after that at Queen's Hall called What a Night Before Christmas, which was also quite a successful production. And then in 2015 was the first Christmas Joy that I did. And we had hoped to have done it last year, but that didn't quite work out. So we are back this year for 2017 with Christmas Joy. And I've decided, just like I would keep, McFarlane carnival bands, where it would be McFarlane Mass, and it would be the name of the band per year. I've decided to keep the Christmas Joy tagline and then just give it a title each year. So this year is The Gift of the Drum. In 2015, we were starting to see a bit of a decline in the economy and what was happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and also the whole element we have that is around where the society is with crime and lawlessness, and again I wanted to bring something that was happy and uplifting, and hence the reason Christmas Joy. But it was fantastic because people who came to the show, and this is men, women, and children. And you could kind of understand women and you could kind of understand children. But when you saw, grown men leaving the Queen's Hall on the evening after the production and literally wiping tears from their eyes and talking about, how much it touched them. And it's not that they were depressed or that it was sad. It was that they were actually leaving very joyous, very emotional, and feeling that they wanted to go out there and do something positive in society. So many people told me that, when they were leaving, they said, I got into my car, and I just kind of made a commitment driving home that night that I want to start doing something more positive. I want, in some little way, and that's what it did to people. It made people look at their lives in a different light, and I guess that's what joy can do. So hence the reason Christmas Joy. And then for 2017, as I said, I want to keep that name, I want to keep that baseline, which is going to be always McFarlane Presents Christmas Joy, and then we just move with a different theme each year. Of course, this year is The Gift of the Drum, where the music will be focused around the drum. production at this level, at this magnitude, it's a huge undertaking. And there's so many different aspects that you need to focus on, and you need to be to really, think about it deeply. And it goes from lights and sound, it goes from the cast that you're going to have, the choir you want to put together, who is the musical director. When I do a show at this level, I don't want to just have tracks, I want to have a live orchestra. So who's the person that's going to create the music, who's going to and make the music new and fresh, because we don't want to just take music and copy what you hear on the radio. So we want to give it our own flavor. So who is the musician that's going to do this? Who's the musical director? Who's the choir director? The dramatist? Who's going to help to bring some character into the whole set? Because it's not a concert. You're not coming to sit down and hear song after song. There's a bit of theater in it. There's a bit of drama in it. There's dance. There's effects. There's incredible staging of sets and of lighting. So all of these elements are so important to the final package, the final component that you get out of bringing all of these ingredients together.
No stage spectacle can successfully take shape without an experienced production team. Musical director Dr. Charles Bruner and drama director Dr. Helma Hilwig are part of McFarlane's star-studded list, handpicked to direct this majestic stage production.
Whatever you sing or whatever you say on stage, I always have to say, do I believe you? So if you sing about a holy night, I need to see that you experience the holy night for yourself, and only then the public will get the out-of-body experience of a holy night, looking at the sky and whatever, although we're sitting in the Queen's Hall itself.
We combined two songs, Over the Rainbow and I Believe, and at the end we actually mixed the two songs at the same time. That was a very challenging work, but I enjoyed it.
Dr. Bruner has the task of finding the right songs and applying unique orchestral arrangements to fit each texture and tone of voice. He is directing a huge cast of multi-talented performers from across the country. Members of the UTT Rapturous Voices, along with guest performers, are working with him to reprise the exciting musical experience of the 2015 show and share their renewed eagerness for this 2017 performance.
I've known Dr. Bruner for a long time. I was one of his singing students. I did some training with him. Being back here working with him, it's kind of nostalgic.
If you've not been doing your homework and paying attention to the fact that, okay, that is playing, but I'm supposed to be singing this, and still stay on beat and on key, and still keep looking at Charles because he's conducting both the orchestra and the choir as well. And still remember to smile.
To work with people who have been here far longer than me, been involved in so many fantastic projects, not just here but all over the world, it's a real honor. I mean, that's all I can say, it's an honor.
I got a chance to really love the work. So now it's like revisiting an old friend. So I enjoy singing these songs for this production.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store.
I have known Mr. Bruner. He would probably remember me when he first came to Trinidad. He used to play for St. Charles Roman Catholic High School. The choir there, and I was in a choir in the school. So that was the first time I ever met him many years ago. So it's to see him here and being in this production, it's an honor working with him And also Mr. McFarlane is a great, an exciting pleasure.
For me, just the whole idea of that energy, of that excitement, the festivity, and the set. Because I know with Brian it's going to be grand. I know it's going to be beautiful, angelic.
Working with a McFarlane production means working alongside excellence. And that's something that I always love to do, just to be a part of something that's greater than yourself. Because you know that when you're involved in this production, you're talking about theater, you're talking about music, you're talking about dance, you're talking about production value. And just to be a part of that, to contribute in any way, is an exciting prospect.
Yeah, the experience was a beautiful one when I asked by Brian McFarlane to bring 21 kids together to be a part of his production. And I would do it again 100 times because it is very rewarding.
Well, there's always that little feeling of nervousness, but it's not a bad nervousness per se. It's more of that kind of shivering kind of feeling you get inside out of pure excitement.
I was just excited to be a part of the show because this is the first time I ever doing something this big. Hi everyone, my name is Roman Armstrong. I am the little drummer boy for Brian McFarlane's 2017 edition Christmas Joy, the Gift of the Drum.
For months, the chorale and orchestra have been rehearsing the vast musical repertoire at the UTT Valsine campus. But now, the show is taking on a life of its own and the synergies are increasing as showtime draws near. Choir director Richard Pear packs up the chorale and together, they make the journey down to the Queen's Hall.
Very challenging, but also very exciting. Challenging because the music is very academic. Dr. Bruner's arrangements are not easy to memorize, and therefore the challenge was ongoing throughout the production up to the time of performance where one had to continuously be on task.
I like to keep the original atmosphere of the song, but I like to change it a little bit musically so the audience gets some kind of surprise, pleasant surprise.
And at each stage you would have the choir members who are saying, oh God, I don't know if I'm able with this. You're understanding, but you've got to continue to empower them. And they submitted to it, and I was very happy at the end of it to have all these people work with these professionals.
There's been an amazing growth in the choir members in the way they take direction, because we've never had to take direction from anyone but Richard before. So that was a new thing for them, and it was amazing. They engaged and they adapted it beautifully. In terms of the costume changes, that was an amazing thing to us, because we wear one costume for our entire production. And to be changing quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, pulling your costumes together, making sure that all your pieces are ready for you when you get it on stage. It was just an incredible experience, and yes, they have grown, and we're ready to pick up the mantle of this sort of thing again very soon.
It was a wonderful journey. Working with Brian is always newness, always something new that comes to mind. And the process, though long, the end result is always fantastic. Seeing the costume come alive from pencil work to choosing a fabric, and then seeing it built to a prototype and now wearing on stage, always magical.
Dr. Bruner is very aware that showtime is close at hand, and the passionate, dedicated musicians under his direction instinctively know that perfection is the watchword of the Christmas Joy Orchestra.
I did not change their songs, but I tried to bring it up to an international level as orchestration and sound and such, and I think they are doing fantastic job.
The star cast of soloists all know their songs, but there is something about moving into Queen's Hall that will shape the way they deliver their performances to an enraptured audience. As producer, McFarlane is mindful of all this.
You know, in every production, you go through so many rehearsals, and we've been rehearsing like about 5 months now, the choir and the musicians and whatnot. And it's a little scary as you go along watching the rehearsals, and so every weekend you kind of listen to what's happening, you see what's going on, and you kind of think to yourself, my God, is this going to really work? Is this going to happen? Because you're just not feeling it, you know? But there's always a moment in every production when it just hits and it's correct, and the energy comes together, and the song gets right, and the chords are just perfect, and you can say, yes, we have a show. This is going to be incredible. And that actually happened 2 weekends ago, and the song's kind of close to the actual date. So it does get a little, you know, nerve-wracking as you're getting closer and closer, and you're not feeling that moment. But that moment did happen, and you know when it happens because you feel it inside of you, and there's an emotion. And I'm speaking about me personally as a director and as a producer of a show. And you feel it from inside. It's a sort of a burning flame that lights, ignites. And you say, yes, it's going to happen. We're going to have it. It's going to be fantastic. And then you can kind of relax to a certain amount because you know it's happening and it's happening good. But you can't totally relax because there's still so many things that need to be put in place leading up to that grand night when that big red curtain opens and reveals the production.
The production is in countdown mode, tickets are selling out, and the nervous energy is now in overdrive. Will the show be ready? What does McFarlane want to add at this stage? After almost 10 months of hard work, you just might be surprised what goes on behind closed doors. Christmas joy, the gift of the drum, demands commitment, dedication, and perfection. Tonight, as we stand ready at Queen's Hall for the curtains to rise on our gala performance, we can't help but think of the countless valuable hours given and many personal sacrifices made to bring a production like this into reality. Everyone is excited to give their best to thrill the audiences with a feeling that lifts the country out of the difficult 2017 year. The audience, of course, have arrived here with great expectations.
For everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way.
Well, knowing the works of Brian McFarlane over the years in mass and theatre, I do expect something spectacular, something with meaning, something with substance. And I have a strange feeling I will not be disappointed. So after this show, I expect to be enriched and uplifted.
I think when I come to a Brian McFarlane show, I expect everything just great, over the top, opulence. I expect spectacular, I expect perfection, and this is the joy of Christmas. So I do know that it's going to just make me feel great at the end of the night. And I kind of thought that, you know what, this is all about giving back and raising awareness as well. So I'm just expecting greatness tonight and just over the top production.
Patrons were asked to walk with a toy for a boy or girl to send to the hurricane-ravaged island of Dominica. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Anthony Carmona, greeted the cast and wished them well. Tasked with the responsibility of producing the television broadcast version of this magnificent show was Star Global Production Studios.
Producing this show was a challenging yet enjoyable experience. Each performance was unique, from lighting to the arrangement of music, costumes and cast on stage. Every detail had to be captured for the viewer to experience that same level of excellence that was displayed during the live event at Queen's Hall. Working with Brian's team and the entire cast of Christmas Joy has been an awesome experience for us at Star Global Production Studios.
From page concept to stage culmination, it's been a long but rewarding journey. When all is said and done, Brian McFarlane has again hit a home run with his theatrical brainchild.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
From all of us at the McFarlane's production team, we thank you, our patrons and supporters, for holding us ever close in your hearts. To the children of Dominica, this is our prayer for you. Peace, love, and joy. Merry Christmas, and may the gift of the Christ child remain forever drumming on the doors to your heart. Last but not least, we say thank you to all our sponsors for helping us realize our 2017 presentation, Christmas Joy, the Gift of the Drum.